Hello everyone. Today I want to share my views on economics. In economics, I want to share my views on theories of economics. Before starting the topic of theories of economics, I want to share that if you are the first viewer of my channel, then please subscribe my channel and like my video and share my videos also. So starting with the topic of theories of economics, first of all, I have started with the introduction. So here the question has arisen first of all that what is economics. Before starting the topic of theories of economics, what is economics? So economics is the social science which is concerned with the three things like number one production, number two distribution and consumption of goods and services, and number three to make the choice for which for individual, business, government and nation also how to allocate the resources. And what is the building block of economics? Main thing is that the building block of economics are labor and trade. Okay, so what is economics? First of all, here the question has arisen that from which words the economics come from. The word economics come from two Greek words, eco and nomos. Eco means home, nomos means accounts. So why this subject has developed? This subject has developed to keep the family account into wide-ranging subject today. Okay, so I have some definition of economics here. Economics is about the study of scarcity and choice. Economics is about the study of scarcity and choice, and economics explain the problems of living in community in terms of underlying resource cost and consumer benefits. It means that it is concerned with the problems of living in society or communities for underlying the resource cost and consumer benefits. And number three, economics find ways of reconciling unlimited wants and limited resources. So here I have some questions about the basic definition of economics. What is the basic definition of economics? It is the social science directed at the satisfaction of needs and wants through the allocation of scarce resources which have alternative use. It means that it is specified by the satisfaction of needs and also wants. Wants means needs, through which the allocation of resources has to be developed. If we want to fulfill our needs, we have to allocate the resources. Like that, if we want to make our home, then we have fulfill that requirement like money, some material of the to make the house. Okay, like that. The next question is, who is the father of economics? Who is the father of economics? Adam Smith is the father of economics. Okay, and who is Adam Smith? Adam Smith was an 18th century Scottish economist, philosopher and author, and is considered the father of modern economics. Sometimes question has arisen that who is the father of economics? So Adam Smith is the father of economics. Now he is famous for his book which is written in 1776 by Smith, which the name of book is The Wealth of Nations. The Wealth of Nations. Sometimes the question has arisen that who wrote the book The Wealth of Nations. So Smith wrote The Wealth of Nation book in 1776. So the other question is that who is the mother of economics? Who is the mother of economics? Amartya Sen has been called the Mother Teresa of economics. So who is the mother of economics? Amartya Sen. And Amartya Sen has been called the Mother Teresa of economics for his work on famine, human development, welfare economics, the underlying mechanism of poverty, gender inequality and political liberalism. Okay, so his work based on the famine, human development, welfare economics and mechanism of poverty and gender inequality and political liberalism. So that's the reason that Amartya Sen has been called the Mother Teresa of economics. Okay, so principles of economics. Number one, people face trade-off. Number two, the cost of something is what you give up to get it. Number three, rational people think at the margin. Number four, people respond to incentives. Number five, trade can make everyone better off. Number six, market are usually a good way to organize economic activities. Number six, government can sometimes improve outcome economic outcome. So these are some principles of economics, how the people think, how the people respond for their incentives, how the people think better about their trade, how they organize their economic activity, how the government can sometime improve economic outcome, economical activities, like that. These are some principles of economics. Okay, and the other thing is that theories of economics. Before starting the theories of economics, I want to share that if you are the first viewer of my channel, then please subscribe my channel and share my video and like my videos also. So theories of economics. Number one, neoclassical economics. Number two, monetarism. Number three, classical economics. Number four, Keynesian economics. Number one, neoclassical economics. What is the meaning of neoclassical economics? Neoclassical economics is a broad theory, okay, and it depends on the supply and demand, because supply and demand as the driving force, used as a driving force, which is behind the production, price and consumption of goods and services. And when did it merge? It merged in around 1900. Okay, so neoclassical economics is a broad theory and it focuses on the supply and demand. Okay, and it merged in around 1900. Okay, now the characteristics of neoclassical economics. What are the main characteristics of neoclassical economics? Neoclassical economics can be defined in terms of two characteristics. One is positive. There are two main characteristics. Number one, positive, and other is normative. So positive and normative are the two main characteristics of neoclassical economics. And the other point is that macroeconomy is stable, and the other point is there is a diversion in between the potential GDP and full employment are temporary. These are the main point. So the government can take a step for laissez-faire or hand of perspective. It means that the main characteristics of main characteristics of neoclassical economics are one is positive and other is normative. Full GDP and full employment are temporary, and government should take the step for laissez-faire. So these are some characteristics and features of neoclassical methodology. Okay, four core features of neoclassical methodology. Number one, methodological individualism. Number two, rationality. Number three, equilibrium. Number four, importance of price mechanism. These are some 4 points of features of neoclassical methodology. Methodological individualism, rationality, equilibrium, importance of price mechanism. And I have some example also. Neoclassical economic theory is applied in various forms in our daily life, like that if we want to choose a dream home, but we have not that material, we don't have that resource which we want to fulfill to make our dream home, so like money and requirements, so we have to fulfill these requirements. Okay, so when we fulfill these resources, then we have to make our dream home. Okay, so it is the example of neoclassical economic theory. Okay, so neoclassical economic theory, there are some points, assumptions, like number one, perceived value. Number two, saving drives investment. Number three, free market. Number four, market equilibrium. Number five, relevant information. Number six, marginal utility. Number seven, rational agent. These are the neoclassical economics theories, some assumptions, some points perceived value. It means that it have some special values, some importance. Saving drive investment. We have some savings and free market. There is no bonding in market, and market equilibrium, relevant information. We have to be a relevant information about that. We have to be done in our life. Marginal utility. What is the utility of that thing? We have to be done. Rational agents are to be rational. Okay, so these are some neoclassical economical theory, some assumptions. Okay, and the other point is father of neoclassical economic. Father of neoclassical economic is Alfred Marshall. Sometimes the question has to be arise that who is the father of neoclassical economic. Alfred Marshall is the father of neoclassical economic. Okay, so what is Alfred Marshall theory? What is Alfred Marshall theory? Marshall theory of capital was designed to serve two main purposes. Okay, to fulfill the two main purposes, Marshall theory has to be developed. An integration of theory of income distribution into general theory of value and closing of gap between economic theory and business practice. It means that in Marshall theory, capital, money is very important. The two main purpose, integration of theory, to integrate the theory. Income distribution is very important. How to distribute in general theory of value. Okay, and closing of the gap between economic theory. How many gap in between the economic theory and business practice? Closing of the gap. Okay, so it's are some Alfred Marshall theory. It means that capital was designed to serve two main purposes: an integration of theory of income distribution into general theory of value and closing of gap between economic theory and business practice. Okay, so I have some difference between classical economics and neoclassical economics. Before starting the topic, I want to share that if you are the first viewer of my channel, then please subscribe my channel and share my videos and like my videos also. So the main difference in between classical economics and neoclassical economics is that classical economic focuses on what an economy expand, how the economy expand and contract. As much the classical school emphasize on the production. It means classical school emphasize on only production of goods and services, and as the key focus of economic analysis. It means that classical economics focus on the production of goods and services as the key focus of economic analysis. It means that classical economics focus on economic analysis, and neoclassical economic focus on how individual operate within an economy. Neoclassical economy focus on how individual operate with an economy, how the individual, how the people operate with their money, how they use their money, how they utilize their economy. Is there they utilize in better way or in or not in a better way? Okay, like that. Neoclassical economic focus on how the individual operate within an economy. So it's the topic on economy and some theories of economy, and the other theories of economy I have to discuss in the other video. So thanks. So like my video and subscribe my channel and share my videos also. Thank you.